Oh, hello guys. I want to clear something up. I guess about a few weeks back, I made a video about these headphones right here, these Munitio Pro40s. And I really, talked about these headphones. I was really impressed by the mid-range of these headphones and how they sounded, without the air patch, right? And I'm saying that the mid-range just sounded insane, right? But after I had these for a while now, I realized I may have been wrong about the sound quality of these headphones. Yeah, and there's a reason for that. What I found out was these headphones, I believe, were actually modified, and this is why they sounded the way they did. Because in the first video, I raved about this, about the mid-range was so strong and so insane sounding. But when I took a closer look, and I apologize for the sound noise, but when I took a closer look at this, I realized that these were actually modified headphones. And if you're not familiar with modified headphones like I was, there are actually companies and individuals that take these headphones apart. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I believe that these headphones were modified, and this is why I was really wrong about the sound on these headphones. How they sound, because I had no idea they were modified until one day I lost my cord and I was looking for another cord to use, or a cable, because this is the original cable that I use for these headphones. And when I plugged it in like this, as you can see, this connector, and it has a lot to do with this connector. But right now I'm just gonna, just explain real quick on what happened. So basically, when I first got these headphones, I just used this cord, and this is a cable from my Philips DVT 7500 digital recorder. I could not find headphone cords, so I just used this one. And when I plugged them in and hooked them up to my computer and to my phone, and this is when I mentioned that the mid-range just sounded really insane. And the next day I actually lost this cable, so I had to find another cable to replace it. So I decided to use my V motor cable, which is a very nice sounding cable. And when I used that cable, the headphones sounded different, and I could not figure out why they sounded the way they did. So I'm thinking it's the cable, right? And so I went back and I found this cable, to make a long story short. I found this cable again, and I plugged them in. When I plugged them in, they still sounded like original headphones. They did not sound, they sounded, I guess, the way they are supposed to sound, but they did not sound dynamic like they did the first time when I had them. Because when the first time I had them, it just seemed like the highs and the lows were pushed down a bit, while the mid-range was pushed up about 3 or 4 decibels. So, and this is why I said the mid-range just stood out in these headphones. I couldn't figure out why. At first, I thought it was the air pads. As you can see, I put air pads on them, and they had foam actually inside the air pads, and I removed the foam because I thought, by removing the foam, the sound would sound more open, right? And it does. And, I'm here to say, if you really want to change the sound of your headphones or really open them up as far as sound goes, I would advise you to remove the foam. And I'll show you a piece of foam real quick. And this is what I removed from the headphones, from the pads. It was actually, it was 2 layers. This is the layer that was inside of it, and there was another thin, transparent cloth over this. And of course, when I removed this cloth and this foam, it sounded really more open. But again, it did not sound the way it did when I first listened to these. So I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to figure out, what made the sound of these headphones change. And what I did not notice was the connector right here. And, when I found my cord again and I plugged it in, I noticed that, as you can see, this connector right here was kind of sticking out. And there we go. I can show this real up close. You see this connector right here? And this is an audio plug, the 3.5 millimeter jack. And, I did not pay any attention to it. I don't know if when I received it, if the jack was sticking out this much. But anyways, it was like this, I believe, when I found my cable again. And when I plugged it in like this, as you see, the jack just went in. The sound changed. It went back to sounding originally, you know, the way they sounded when I first got them. And I was like, wow, the sound is back. And this is what really, you know, led me to believe that these headphones were modified in some way. And what I mean by modified headphones, I had no idea this existed. I know they can modify loudspeakers and stuff like that, but headphones, I had no idea this is what they do. But there are, you know, if you Google this, there are companies out there that, small businesses out there that actually modify these headphones. And what they do is they disassemble everything. They take the headphones apart, everything, and they change the drivers, or they upgrade them, they change the audio cables and these connectors right here to give the headphones a more balanced sound or a better sound. So yeah, they actually take everything apart. I mean, everything. And it just replaced the wiring and the connectors, and just to give it a better sound, or to make the sound balanced, or even to make these cables right here balanced. And I had no idea they did this. This is something, I guess, you know, some companies are doing. And I think it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a disadvantage, because if you buy a pair of headphones that are used, you know, like this, you don't know if they have been modified or not. And like for me, I was not aware of this. So when I got these headphones, I was just really impressed by this. I was like, wow, these sound incredible. The mid-range are insane. But now I know that these were actually modified. And this is how I found out, as I mentioned earlier. I believe this connector right here was tempered, where, as you can see, it kind of pulls out. So when I received it, I wasn't sure if it was pushed in or not, but when I plugged it in again, the sound changed and went back to sounding like, you know, a normal pair of headphones. But then when I kind of pulled it out a little bit, this connector right here, the whole sound changed. And it seemed like it was modified, because if this was maybe a bad connection or faulty hardware, it would not sound the way it did. It sounded really like it was EQ'd. It's like someone took the equalizer and it just turned the highs and the bass down, and it just boosted the mids like 3 or 4 decibels. It sounded like it was perfectly done. It did not sound faulty in any way, or if it was failing. It just sounded like it was just intentionally EQ'd, so you would just get more mid-range. And this is what, you know, led me to believe that these were actually modified headphones, because you see this connector has been it's been removed, you could tell. So what I did was, you know, I wasn't really familiar with these headphones. I kind of pulled out this connection, and I actually pulled it out too much, and I kind of broke the cable, as you can see. But if you look closely, you can see that the okay, you can see the soldering right here where the wires are soldered to. I had no idea. I thought this would just come out. I didn't think it would break, but it did. So you can see it better. But yeah, I believe these headphones were taken apart, and they were modified so you get that sound, that mid-range. As I mentioned before, the ear pads were removed too. So that really enhanced the sound. And, you know, again, this is what I did. You know, when they were working the way they were, you know, with the strong mid-range, I removed the ear pads, as you can see, the foam. And it just made them sound more open and better, you know, more dynamic. And it does make a difference if you use different pads, ear pads. You can really change the sound of headphones. But yeah, I just wanted to clear this up, because I know in the first video I was really excited, just like, wow. These sound so insane. But now I realize that they were modified, and I found a website that actually does this. It's a couple of companies or small businesses that enhance these headphones, and they did a pair of Audio Technica. I forgot the model. It's the model that everybody used. The 50, is it the Anthem 50 or something, that everyone used for monitoring audio. They actually, it was not a video, but they just showed photos of the headphones being modified. And like I said, they took everything apart. You know, they changed the wiring, they changed this connector right here, they put a better connector, and they made their headphones balanced and the cable balanced. So it basically changed the sound of the headphones. And this is what some companies are doing. And I don't know how much it costs, but like once they modify these headphones, they resell them, and they sell for about, like, I was looking at the Audio Technical ones. They were like 140, 150. They had some for 200. So yeah, the only thing bad about it is that, you know, if you get a pair of headphones like this that's been modified, you don't really know how they sound because they've been, you know, changed. The sound has been changed to sound more balanced or to sound better, right? And this was my problem, you know. Like I say, I had no idea, you know, they would do such a thing like this, modify the headphones. But yeah, in a way, it's kind of good. But at the same time, you know, if you find a pair, you don't really know how they really sound. And you may be wrong about the sound because this is your first time using a pair like this. And this is what happened to me. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, I mean, I was really excited about these headphones and the sound quality. But after I found out they were modified in a way, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, if somebody were to buy this same model, they will not sound the way these did, because these were specially modified to have a certain sound or a certain peak in the mid range. And this what stood out was the mid range in these headphones. So yeah, these are called Munitio. And again, you know, the company that sells these headphones, on that manufacturer them, they're all sold out. They sell for $350. Yeah, that's a lot for these pair of headphones. And you may be asking me, is it worth $350? To tell you the truth, I would go out and spend $350 on these headphones because, again, if they sounded the way they did before, you know, after they were modified, yes, they would be worth it, the $350. But since I found out now that, you know, they originally don't sound that way. They sound pretty balanced, you know. Like I said, when I messed around with this connector a little bit, I was able to get the sound back to where it was when I first got them. But and from there, it just went away. After the cable broke, you know, the sound just went away. But when I heard the original sound of these headphones, yeah, they sound balanced, and the bass is pretty deep. And, you know, it's pretty deep and strong, and the highs. It sounds pretty average, like your average studio monitor headphones. There's nothing that really stands out once these are sounding correct. To me, you know, nothing really stood out. Maybe the only thing that stood out was the bass response. But, you know, it was nothing like that makes you go, wow, like they did before. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. So these are the Munitio, and for the build quality, you know, they're really good. The only complaint that I have, just like a lot of headphones, is you see this plastic headband right here. It's plastic. As you can see, it's cracking. Yeah, let's get a close look. You can see I kind of glued the top of it to just keep it from cracking all the way. But yeah, I mean, these are $350 headphones, and they have they have plastic bands that crack. I mean, for this price, I would not spend $350 for these just because of this. You know, one thing I can't say as far as, you know, and this is what I don't understand. When you look at this part right here, the enclosure where the driver is, it's all metal. I believe this is made out of aluminum. It's metal, and I believe it's aluminum. And even this part right here, the part of the band, the bottom band right here, is aluminum. This is all metal, right? But the top band right here is all plastic. And I don't understand why they would manufacture a product like this where they make half of it, you know, metal, and they make the most important part of the headphone, makes it plastic, where it would eventually break over time, as you can see. So they could have just made the whole thing out of metal or out of stainless steel for the band. And if they would have basically made this part, the top band, out of stainless steel and not plastic, I would definitely say these are worth getting. Even, you know, for $350, I would say they're worth getting because of the build quality and the sound quality. They sound, you know, balanced. They have a little bit of a bass, you know, they hit really hard. You know, they have pretty good bass response. But since, you know, these things are plastic at the top, it's not worth it. Yeah, to me, it's not. But again, you know, these are very nice headphones, you know. I would like to say they are well made, but because of this one problem right here, and this is the most important thing, because once this breaks or cracks, you can't use them anymore. And this is the same problem that the Beat headphones had. You know, they had this problem. So yeah, that's all I can say for these. I mean, you know, yeah, I was kind of disappointed when I found out they were modified. I thought they originally sounded like this from the manufacturer, but they don't, you know. But again, for the manufacturer, they sound pretty balanced and nothing really special. But I do have a surprise, is that I found a pair of headphones that basically have amazing sound quality, and they sound almost like these when these were modified. I found a pair that had really good mid-range response, sound very dynamic and very open. So after I got them, you know, I look at these now and I'm like, the other ones are much better. So yeah, I'm going to do a review on those headphones. You know, I'm not going to say what brand or what model they are right now because it's a surprise. But I think I found the perfect pair of headphones as far as sound quality to go. They sound exactly the way, to me, they should sound. You know, it's the sound that I have been looking for in a pair of headphones for a very long time, and I have found them. So, you know, I guess a couple videos from now, I'm going to post that video of them. But for these Munitio headphones, yeah, you know, $350, they sold out, you know, at their website. And again, you know, they're great sounding headphones when they are not modified, but it's just the build quality. I don't know why they kind of skipped on this part right here and made this plastic. If this was metal or stainless steel, I would say these would be like the perfect headphones, you know, for monitoring or doing audio. But because of this one drawback, you know, the build quality, it's just, you know, I think it's a waste of money to spend when, you know, when it's going to break eventually over time. Because again, you know, the rest of the headphone is made out of metal. This part right here is plastic, but the casing of the driver around here is metal, and this part is metal. So it makes me wonder why, you know, they didn't make the rest of it metal instead of plastic. But yeah, I just wanted to clear up the sound quality. And again, these are modified headphones. So if someone were to get these pair of headphones, they would not sound the way they did from the manufacturer, because they have been tampered with, you know. They have been modified to sound a certain way or to enhance the sound for, you know, individuals. So that's about it. So I just wanted to explain that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.